Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and you can share it too. So today I'm going to show you how I like to construct my short and sassy wigs. We're going to start out with a closed top mesh cap. It has adjustable straps in the back, and we're going to use a 22 canvas block head. You want to make sure that you put your wig cap on your block head correctly to make sure that it is fitting snugly to the block head. This is also the part that you want to be mindful what the measurements are for your actual client's head. My particular client's measurements, I already have them written down, so I know exactly where to place my cap. I have my canvas block pre-marked so that I know exactly where to put all my measurements. So my client is a 16 from temple to temple. I have 18 inches of measuring tape, which means that I would take just a inch off on each side to create 16 inches. Next, we want to place the closure exactly where we want it. My customer is doing a heavier side part. She wants to create a fuller bang look. So I'm actually going to use this 5x5 closure, and I'm going to offset it off over to the left more so that she can have a heavier side part. When pinning your closure, I suggest that you have at least 4 T-pins so that you can pin the right and the left side in the front and the right and the left side in the back. The thing is, when you pin your closure down, you want to make sure that you pin the closure tight, not overly tight, but tight. And you want to make sure that it is flat and flush against the actual wig cap, just as I just demonstrated there. If you see ripples or anything, I would suggest that you take it off and go ahead and readjust it to make sure that it's flat and flush. Okay, so we got it flush now. We got the measurement on there. Now it's time to draw our directional lines. I like to put my measuring tape back on top of my cap so I don't strain my eyes to actually see my numbers. However, when I mark my canvas block up with the measuring tapes, I have a tape under my cap that I can actually see. It just depends on what you want to do. But anyways, I like to put my tape back on the top, and first I like to draw 1-inch lines. After I get the 1-inch lines on the actual canvas block or on the cap, I just take them across and balance them out all the way through. just when you thought we were done, we're going to go back and we're going to put 1/2 inch part spacings onto our cap now. So we're going to draw 1/2 inch lines in between the 1 inch lines that we drew. The reason is because when you do a short and sassy unit, you want to make sure that the tracks are laying close enough so that when you go ahead and cut it down, you can literally cut it down very short, so then the tracks can lay directly on top of each other and they won't show. So of course I went ahead and sewed the wig together. I do sew the wig on the sewing machine. I have classes that I teach. If you guys are interested, check out my website, www.hairrichclub.com. You see I have my spacings in there. They're about 1/2 inch apart. As I got to the top, I might have made them just slightly a little bit wider, but from there you see I pop my closure right back into place. I am going to hand stitch this closure down, and then I'll go back and I'll sew it on with the sewing machine. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do now, guys. So I got the closure stitched on. These are my stitches inside. I do use a zigzag stitch, like one of the smaller ones, not the really wide ones. So you see how they are. You got your 1/2 inch spacings in there. It's really close. So when I cut it down, it won't show what's underneath. Okay, so I like to sew combs on the inside. I usually put 3 combs on the inside, 1 on the right and the left sides of the head, and 1 right in the back nape. Alright, after we get the wig completely sewn together how we want it, then we're going to come back and we're going to use the razor comb. You can get this razor comb at your local beauty supply store. What I love about the razor comb the most is the fact that you don't have to be an expert cutter to use this. Long as you can cut in a straight line, then you can pretty much do a nice haircut with the razor comb. So I suggest that you guys try this, especially for beginners. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down, and then I'll do more shaping on my head. You guys will see. course, I'm using the Hair Rich Sculpting and Melting Mousse. This mousse is the bomb, not only because it's my mousse, but it's a bomb for a few reasons. It's a clear mousse, so you don't have to worry about it staining your lace. That was the biggest reason that I really like it. It molds exceptionally well. It lays the hair down very good. It gives the hair shine. You can use it on real hair, of course. It's just like the bomb. And this is the same mousse that I use when I do my glueless and I'm just trying to melt the lace with my skin. So I gave you guys a few reasons. Go ahead, pop your wraps on. After we get our wraps on, we're gonna go ahead and put it under the dryer until it's dry, and then we'll come back and finish it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into the styling. Of course, I'm only using my tools. This is the Hair Rich Titanium Flat Iron. I love this flat iron because it heats up to 450 degrees in 30 seconds. Yeah, you heard me, 30 seconds. It's completely titanium. It has a swivel cord. It's very lightweight. And the reason why I chose this arm was because it is made for a stylist. Like if you're a stylist, then you know that a lot of the flat irons are overly bulky in our hands and they're heavy. For a hairstylist, we need light and we need easy. So that's why I got this arm. Feel free to try it out. It comes in a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch. So if you're looking for those small baby flat irons, this is where you want to be. Check them out on the site, www.hairrichclub.com. So now we're in the curling portion of this unit. So we're just going to slightly bump the hair and give it a little bit of height at the top. And we're just going to work our way around. I usually like to start at the top depending on the style that I'm trying to create. Sometimes for my longer units, I'll start in the back or the bottom. But for this one, we're going to start in the top and we're just going to slightly bump it and just go around the unit. So we're gonna go ahead and just create like some slide curls back here in the back. I'm not trying to get like a whole lot of bend in the hair. We want it to be just textured, flowy and flowing, and that's the look that we're trying to create. So that's why we're just putting a slight bend to it. Okay, so now time for the fun part. I usually like to try on my units that I create for customers so that I can just kind of get an idea of how they may look on a person's head. It's okay to put a wig on a mannequin head, but what we have to do is we have to keep in mind that the mannequin head is a lot smaller than the human head. So depending on the size of the wig that you're making, sometimes you just need a larger head and a bigger face. I'm really loving how this unit is starting to fall in place. I'm loving the way that the layers are looking. I'm loving the height that we have. I'm also loving how the back is just laying and tapered, but it's still really textured. I'm going to go around the back and shape it a little bit more and cut off any excess hair that I don't need, but I'm definitely liking the way it's starting to look. So this is the part where I use the thinning shears. And if you're not familiar with the thinning shears, what they do is they do create texture, but they actually remove weight in the hair without removing length. So if you ever need to take out, like if it's too bulky in certain areas, this is a great tool to have in your arsenal that you can use. So I'm gonna just go through and I'm gonna thin it out in certain areas and keep texturing it until I get the look that I'm going for. Sorry about the lint, you guys. I noticed I had a few pieces in the back. I picked them out at the end. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure you like it, subscribe to my page, and let me know what else you guys want to see so that I can create some videos for you. I appreciate you tuning in to this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and feel free to share. You can follow me on I Am Wiggiana on Instagram and at Hair Rich Club on Facebook. We also are I Am Wiggiana on TikTok.